band Super Crazy, please.
This guy legitimately makes me sick. He is lower than Phil Burnell. I mean, this guy was partying with the Rekietas just a couple of months ago, streaming from hot tubs with each other, streaming from Nick's chair in his office, and making plans to be on each other's shows. Everything was perfect until it wasn't. And now that Nick has been arrested and is having a complete fucking meltdown, and by the way, stole this dude's wife while he was going through it, now Nick's the bad guy and all the secrets are coming out. See, this guy knows people want all the dirt and juicy details, not because they like him or even care about him, but it's because they want to know how bad of a person Nick Rekieta really is. And so this loser is getting on his show twice a day trying to sell all the details, but at the same time, he's extremely disgusted by what Nick was doing.
And I'll tell you why Nick in the time in it's no secret, it's no mystery, it's not an accident that from January to May he lost a shitload of weight and was inebriated more often. He had someone to do the fucking drugs with and hang out with him. He and April would hang out. She'd sit down there during that show. They'd come up during breaks. Sometimes they would do drugs. I saw it myself. He had someone to do it with. April, honey, sweetie. She always says, if you've ever loved me, why don't you stop talking about this? There's an old, April, you're a farm girl. There's an old saying, you can't stop a rooster from crowing once the sun's come up. April, the sun's up. Nick, the sun's up. We have to sing about this. This is what we did. This is unholy. This is bad. This is something we have to atone for. Nick, your appearance changed because you found a drug buddy. And you guys fucking ran it into the ground. And your kids didn't get their clothes changed. And they weren't fed enough food. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I was a fucking hero because I'd cook a can of SpaghettiOs every once in a while or I'd go grocery shopping. I didn't do enough, clearly.
No, you didn't do enough, you dumb shit. You sat there and participated in all this garbage. But now that everything's fallen apart and you can't use Nick anymore, now it's time to atone for everything. So he's doing things like telling the couch story where a cocaine grinder fell out of Nick's pocket while Aaron's kids were there. And yeah, this dude should be pissed off about something like that. But where was all this moral outrage months ago? Why is it only coming out now? And then he's been telling the soulmate story where he claimed Nick's wife told him that she felt like they were becoming soulmates. So what about his own wife? Well, she was busy getting railed by Nick in the other room. That's how fucked up this story is. And he'll keep talking about it, but don't forget, guys, we got to knock out this $300 goal as well. And who does that remind you of?
Because I want this to be prominent on the screen. I want the people who contributed to get credit. Because you guys were amazingly supportive of me today. And I really do appreciate that so much. This is going to help me tremendously this month. And hopefully, I don't know if it's good enough, but it'll definitely help me out to not be in the position I've been the past few months. Okay, guys? So thank you to everyone who contributed today. That being said, people have had monstrous speculation. What is this positive thing that Phil's going to announce? You know, what is it? Is it a green screen for The Office? Is it that his wife is pregnant? Is it that he paid off one of his big debts and now things are going to be better? Is it that he's got a new pet? Is it that he's got, you know, there's all these things that people had ideas of. And I'll be honest, some people were close, but some people were not. No one hit it right on the head. All right, and I'm going to explain. But since we hit the goal, enough with the suspense. Let's just get to it. All right, if you guys want to give me a second here, I'll be right back.
And that's what this whole thing reminds me of. But instead of revealing a fucking cat for $1,000, this dumb shit is revealing that another man stole his wife and that they were having drug parties. You can't make this shit up, man. But the reason I decided to make this video is because I saw a clip of him talking about how his wife cleaned out the closet and left him. And while he was telling that story, he started saying things that he probably didn't even realize contradict some of the main things he's been lying about for months.
I went to the Rekietas one Friday with the children. This was the time that my oldest told me, she goes, Dad, I don't like going there. And that was the last time we went. And April was there for a little bit. And April was oddly distant from the kids and oddly distant from me, we were opening up. I was having the kids open up their Easter baskets. This was weeks after Easter. They just hadn't had a chance to. And I called April's mother while the kids opened their Easter baskets so they could thank April's mom and dad for the Easter baskets. And April just left the house. She just left the Rekieta's house. And I hung out there with the kids until we had to leave, until the kids wanted to go. And April had somebody let her know that, oh, God, I got to really fucking watch it here because I don't want to sling any accusations. She had someone text her when the kids and I left. April didn't spend any time with me, didn't spend any time with the kids. It was fucking weird. I go home with the kids. I go upstairs. Half of my closet is cleaned the fuck out. She dipped. While I was hanging out there, she was at home cleaning out the closet. This was a Friday. And I believe 7 weeks ago tomorrow, I contacted Nick. I contacted Kayla. I said, what the fuck is going on? I sent them pictures. They swore up and down, and I have no proof that they knew, so I don't know. They said, oh, we had no idea she was doing that. I mean, she brought the clothes right to their house afterwards, so I have my suspicion. Man, I have my suspicions about a lot of shit after everything I saw and did and everything else. But
then where were all these accusations the last few months? You know, when you were getting on your show, defending Nick and claiming that people were making up shit about y'all on Kiwi Farms and Reddit. But now that there's money to be made, he's got a lot of suspicions. And take this one, for example. It was just a throwaway line, but he had to make sure you knew that was the reason why. He said his daughter told him that she didn't like going there anymore, and that was the last time that they went. Essentially saying that he didn't want the kids around those kind of people. Well, that's pretty convenient, considering your wife fucking left you and moved in with them. But that's not the reason he stopped going. It was because one of his children said they didn't like going there anymore. So his wife, or their wife, I guess I should say, went to the Rekieta's house with Aaron and his kids. These aren't her kids, by the way. He left his previous wife, and, well, it's a whole fucked up story. But while they were there, she didn't say anything and just left. And apparently she went home and cleaned out the closet. And yeah, it makes for good storytelling and juicy details. But at the end of the day, these are personal relationship problems between these two people. He then says he has to be careful because he doesn't want to sling any accusations around. But as soon as people came calling, he went on a fucking Rekieta world tour. As a matter of fact, let's watch one of those clips right now.
And by the way, before anyone even asks, I only saw her, other than like cocaine and stuff, I only saw her take medication that was prescribed to her. I will say that.
Okay.
But he would start questioning me, and if I didn't know the answer to these things that happened a couple days ago, he'd start fucking freaking out on me like, you're a goddamn liar. Why don't you just stop fucking lying? And I'm just like, dude, I just don't know where your wife put her pill. I don't pay attention to this shit. Did you fuck her 2 days ago when you were watching that movie? Did you have sex that? I'm like, Sunday, Monday, I think maybe we, but then I would realize I would think to myself,
you fucked her, right?
Why do you think he was so threatened by you fucking his wife? Like, shouldn't he have been chill with it?
Those two are extremely codependent. And even though they're into, I think they were kind of bored with each other. And that's where April and I came along. And
was it accepted to have sex with her and vice versa? Like, was this like already like okay, yeah, guys, I get to fuck her, you get to fuck her.
Let me take responsibility for something else.
Sure.
While April and I were on vacation in Las Vegas to watch the Vikings games and hang out with some friends.
Okay.
I did bring it up to her that I thought Kayla was very attractive. And my part of the degeneracy, my part of the weakness was it might be interesting to try this because we knew their reputation. Can you
walk me through like the decision process to opening your marriage?
The Wednesday night, we hung out. We drank afterwards. It was fun. It was a good time. April and Kayla got along great. Nick was on Molly. He and I got along as well as we could. He was Cool enough. Then we hung out the next day before they left town. We watched a movie in the morning. I've thought about this as time goes on, as I've been away from it. I don't know if they introduced her to anything in that time period or not. I have no idea, but I have my suspicions now.
Sex, drugs, and basically grooming of his wife going on. But don't forget, he doesn't want to sling any accusations around. So that clip took place on May 25th. But let's shoot back 2.5 weeks earlier to May 8th. And let's see if he was telling a different story.
I have subreddits.
Yeah.
And different websites and all these things that not only talk about the fact that I suck fucking cock all the time, that I'm fucking terrible.
Right.
I mean, these are places that I'm getting divorced and April's dead, or April's not in the house, or here's one from the last 6 months. Nick Rekieta and I are fucking each other.
Right.
Is one I've read over and over. Fucking each other's wives, fucking this person, fucking Gino, Keanu, fucking them all day long. Just apparently I'm slaying pussy.
Well, isn't that Shawn Michaels? And remember earlier in the video, from his own mouth, she cleaned out the closet and left them, moved in with the Rekietas, and they were wife swapping even before that. But here, since there was no money to be made yet, and he was still supposedly friends with Nick, even though a cocaine grinder had already fallen out of his pocket in front of Aaron's kids, it's just those stupid Redditors that are making up all kinds of stories about them. I mean, this guy will get up there and lie or try to hide shit, and then after the fact, claim that he's been spot on about calling all this stuff out.
Nicholas commonly refers to this as his studio. Nicholas appears to have lost weight, appears tired, and overall appears strung out, common with controlled substance users. And you know what's fucking gross about this is all these Nick Rekieta ball washers have said, oh, this Aaron guy is exaggerating. Every fucking document that comes out is exactly what I've been saying. Exactly what I'm owning up to. Ryobi, please stop calling. It should be noted that in recent videos of the Imholtz, April has at times also appeared tired, lethargic, and strung out as well. This is what I've been trying to tell her. You can blame me all you want. You can say that I fucked you over, that I ruined your life. April, Nick, Kayla, everybody saw it. This wasn't a fucking secret. Everybody saw it. Everybody knew. I fucking told you guys it had gone too far. April, I told you you had a problem. You fucking screamed at me. You called me a monster. You said I was a bad guy. You said I was trying to ruin the fun. This makes me more angry.
Buddy, I'm pretty sure Nick was already looking strung out and that he lost a bunch of weight while y'all were hanging out with each other. So why did it take all these documents to come out for you to all of a sudden become Nostradamus? I mean, I really can't figure out why people call you a snake and a liar. It really boggles the mind. Now, this guy has his defenders, people that are saying, oh, you did the right thing, and I'm happy you're letting all this out. But if there wasn't money to be made from this, he'd still be sitting there claiming that people are lying about him and spreading all kinds of rumors. But since he claims that's not the reason he's been doing the Rekieta World Tour, let's see why he actually decided to spill the beans.
My still legally wife, my former lover, and my ex-friend got busted for, as today's guest Gino Bisconti will say, drugs, guns, and having children in the house. Now, I know everything. I've said my piece in terms of... last night, if you watched Kino Casino in Simpcast, I spilled the beans on our as a group, our sexual proclivities. I know they wanted to hear it. I know people wanted to hear the details. And I'll say this. There's a couple reasons why I don't feel bad airing this laundry. Number one, those three got arrested doing something I told them was going to get them fucking arrested, was going to get them in serious trouble. It's also the reason that I left that whole situation, was the drug use plus the drama and the yelling and the fighting and all of this stuff, and then living a more quiet life at home after April left. And then there being kids involved. Just really, it wore on me, but it wore on me too late, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not the good guy. I'm not the good guy because I finally did what everyone should have done, and I did it almost 6 months in. That doesn't make me a good guy. I fucked up. I did dumb shit. I was watching people do dumb shit. Just because I made a can of SpaghettiOs or cleaned a table or swept the floor here and there doesn't make me, a good guy, a hero in this story. I fucked up. It just so happens that the other 3 people are even bigger pieces of shit than I am. So I maybe look better by comparison, but that's not, that's cold comfort.
Ah, yes, the Phil Burnell defense. You were a piece of shit back then when all this stuff was going on, but those other people, they were bigger pieces of shit. I mean, just don't pay attention to the fact that I was still getting in front of a microphone, covering for them, lying about stuff, because again, there was no money to be made from it yet, but now you can trust me because I've changed and I've matured and I've seen the error of my ways. I wonder how much this guy paid to go to the DSP Academy of bullshit, because he graduated with a fucking master's degree, first in his class, and that's impressive when you're in there with guys like Boogie, Wings, and coincidentally, his best friend at the time, Nick Rekieta, was also in that class. But now that we got all the fun and games out of the way, let's go to the most important aspect of all this, the kids. Now, in the complaints and arrest reports, it's been alleged that Nick's children were, how can I say this, dirty, not being fed properly, wearing the same clothes over and over, basically being neglected. And those are obviously very serious accusations. And maybe the body cam footage and all the photos will come out, and people can see if that's actually the case. And if it is, Nick Rekieta should be thrown underneath the prison. But what about our good friend here? Well, he saw this happening the entire time and just stood by and didn't say a fucking thing. Nah, you know what? I take that back. He did say something.
Boo Boo says the current rumor is that April missed her court appearance today and is sleeping with Nick Rekieta.
Wow.
Oh, dude.
What?
I believe Mrs. Rekieta is going to be very upset if that's the case. I better give her a call today and say, I don't know if you heard, but the woman up there right now is apparently over there at the same time. She's a goddamn fuck ninja, and she is she's fucking the 2 of us. Wild, right? What? No, honey, that sounded like a knife coming out of a knife block. Honey, put it, no, Mrs. Rekieta, no, put it down. Put it down. Don't, God damn it, internet, look what you did. Actually, you know what? Now it makes sense why they're doing it. That's kind of the ending that they're looking for. What was the other rumor I saw that I really loved? Was that I told a very innocent story that I thought was really cute. About me making one of the Rekieta children's SpaghettiOs when I was over there visiting. Remember that story?
Yes, I do remember that story. That's why I brought SpaghettiOs.
That was cute. We were all busy doing, I can't remember what, there was a project. I think we were putting in a door or something.
Okay.
And I wasn't doing anything at the time. And one of the kids like, can I have some SpaghettiOs? I'm like, yeah, go make you some SpaghettiOs or something. It was one of those projects.
Yeah.
And I told this cute story about how it was so cool when, that I made the SpaghettiOs. And then that was me telling you, I was really craving SpaghettiOs when I did that.
And meatballs.
And then you brought me a can of SpaghettiOs with meatballs from Rich Girl. And the internet ran with that and was like, they don't take care of their kids over there. Aaron's making them all SpaghettiOs. I'm like,
who doesn't make SpaghettiOs for their kid once in a while? That's not neglect. That's a thing you make for your kid. Like, that's one of the things on the...
Yeah, it's like... Give
them some fucking SpaghettiOs and a couple pieces of fruit. That's lunch.
If they were over here helping us with something, and one of my kids was like, can I have some SpaghettiOs? And like Nick or his wife weren't doing anything, I'd assume they'd make some fucking SpaghettiOs for the kids.
Yeah. It really is a toxic shit place.
It really is just a garbage place full of unhappy people.
I've been through some shit too. Like it's been it's just full of toxic, garbage, shitty people.
Yeah, honey, absolutely. Your mom and dad are busy. They would gladly make you SpaghettiOs in like 2.5 minutes. Or I could just do it now since I'm sitting here with my thumb up my ass. There you go. Boop. They're all fucking each other. They're all on drugs and swapping cum. I think the next time I get asked, I always go, listen, Angel. I can't make you SpaghettiOs because everyone will think I'm fucking your mother and doing drugs.
Absolute human pieces of garbage. Him and this fucking used car salesman of a co-host Go back to Wisconsin or Minnesota or wherever it is you come from. But remember earlier when Aaron was yelling and getting angry and telling them the whole time that they were ruining their lives? But look at him in this clip. Everything's fine. He still would have allowed Nick to come over to make SpaghettiOs for his kids. In fact, at one point, the used car salesman even says, that's not neglect. They're not being neglected. And Aaron literally laughs about it. And even with all the shit that was going on, it took for all this stuff to blow up the way it did for him to actually say something about it. Because remember, he took his kids over there to celebrate Easter weeks after Easter had already passed, well after a cocaine grinder fell out of Nick's pocket in front of his kids, and while they were still wife swapping with each other. But as soon as he couldn't use Nick Rekieta anymore, as soon as Nick Rekieta became Mr. Steal Your Bitch, and as soon as there was money to be made selling all the juicy details, then he became Mr. I want to do the right thing, Mr. I told you this was going to happen the whole time, and the headline feature of the Rekieta World Tour. Who needs enemies when you have friends like these? I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Let's fucking go.